How do you get a job at a hedge fund? How do you ace the interview? I'm going to teach you some unbelievable tricks, okay? And there's going to be 3 parts to this section, to this lecture. Number 1, what to do before your interview, what to do during and what to do after. I've interviewed at some of the biggest hedge funds in the world. I've gotten jobs at these firms only because I've prepared more than anybody else. It's not a sign of intelligence. It's just hard work. What to do before. There is no formal recruiting process. Please realize this. Why? Because there's some turnover at the bottom, but these firms are very, very small, okay? And they're less organized than you think, okay? This is not Goldman Sachs or General Electric. These are small firms with, a lot of them don't even have an HR department. Use your network, okay? So when you interview, let the portfolio manager know that you're resourceful. So if you're interviewing for the software analyst position to cover software stocks, let them know that you're passionate about software and you have a lot of friends that are programmers just like you. You eat, sleep, and breathe software and stocks, okay? So articulate that you are the best fit because you absolutely love the business. You're passionate about it. You eat, sleep, and dream it, okay? Now, the process of getting hired can take a long, long, long time. What do? Well, you keep sending ideas to the portfolio manager, okay, via email. Do the 1-page write-ups that I showed you before, okay? Remember those templates? They work. They worked for me. They'll work for you too. So keep writing up ideas, long and short. And for every long that you pitch, I want you to also pitch a short, or the next one you pitch is a short. It's very common for new analysts in the hedge fund industry to be thought of as too bullish and always positive on stocks and never pitching short. So pitch both. Be brief in your communications. Aside from the 1-page write-ups I taught you about, if you have to give a quick update on a stock, make it brief. Less is more. Remember, every dollar that you write in an email costs you $100. Read the Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times the morning of the interview, because if something big happened in the software sector or whatever sector it is your portfolio manager covers, you better know about it and have an opinion. You don't have to be right. Just have an opinion and sound intelligent. Know what positions the hedge fund owns. This is awesome. You're going to love this. Okay, how do you do it? Let's go to sec.gov. And if you're overseas, then go to the government website for the country in which your hedge fund operates. And you're going to do a search here on company filings. This SEC website rocks. Okay, so I'm going to type in Crosslink, which is a hedge fund here in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's a good firm. All right, so I'm going to type up Crosslink Capital. I click on this link here. I'm going to go to the 13F, which is a filing that by law they have to submit all of their positions every 3 months or so. Okay, looks like they filed this one in February of this year. Here you go, man. These are all the positions that Crosslink's own. Okay, so Carbonite, which is a storage company. What else do they own here? They own Form Factor. They own Facebook. Wow, dude. They own, what is that? 300,000 shares of Facebook? Wow. Okay, that's a lot of money. So anyway, you can get all the positions they open. Zendesk, great company there. Workday, all these cool firms. Salesforce, which is the biggest employer in San Francisco, etc. And what you can do is just get the top 5, right? Or the ones actually in the sector you're interviewing for. Like if you got an interview with the internet portfolio manager and you're interviewing for the internet analyst position, you're going to talk about Facebook, right? Talk about Facebook, your thoughts there, as well as Google. That's the new name for Google, Alphabet, right? Amazon and a bunch of others as well. And so every battle is won before it's been fought. Yeah, I know it's a cliche, but what you can do is you can write down the top names here of what they own and do write-ups on, okay? Do 1-page write-ups on the top 5 or 10. Why? Because your competition won't, and it'll help you stand out. Make sure you know what to wear, okay? Wear the right thing. That movie is Dumb and Dumber. It rocks. I love that. Jim Carrey actually grew up pretty close to where I grew up in Canada. Very humble background. It's awesome. All right, so if you don't know what to wear, go to the website of those companies, okay? So here's Bridgewater. Looks like just a collared shirt. Here's Goldman. I would have thought it was a tie. Oh, there's Nick Giovanni. I used to work with him. So just dress like him. City Ventures, great firm. You can look at pictures, see what people are wearing. Okay, it's pretty simplistic. Okay, so what do you bring to these interviews? Okay, what's in your bag? All right, let's check it out. So, of course, you want to bring your resume. Okay, and if you don't know what resume format to use, Just use this format here. This is the Harvard Business School format. And I say this because the people interviewing you used a similar format. They're older than you are. This is what I know. Okay. So experience, education, personal, use that format. Again, it's the HBS format, and I love doing this. Here we go. 2/3 of that is BS though. All right. I joke, or do I? Oh yeah. Bring something to eat as well. I've found that when I've interviewed these companies, they forget to give me lunch. So you can step away and go to the washroom and eat something like this. That's kind of humorous. Sorry for that, but I thought it was funny. All right. Next up, bring a bunch of ideas. Bring long and short ideas, okay? Bring a bunch that have technicals and don't have technicals because you're not sure yet the person you're going to be meeting with likes technicals. So here's a version of eBay that doesn't have technicals, right? Google, or which is called Alphabet now, I've got technicals here, right? Anyway, just have these ideas in your bag and you don't have to bring them all out. But if they bring up an idea, and sometimes you know which ones they're going to bring up because they'll always kind of ask you what your thoughts are on stocks they already own. And if you pull it out of your bag, you look like $1 million, even if you're wrong. And even if your write-up isn't unbelievable. I mean, they know that you're young and you just started out in this industry. Just be proactive and resourceful, and they will love you for it, okay? Trust me on this. You got the fundamentals, valuation, and technicals. We talked about this before. Oh, by the way, here's the gap. You see the gap we talked about in the technical section? So Google, for some reason back in 07 or I don't even remember, whatever, it gapped up, okay? And I would never buy a stock that gapped up. I would wait until it closed the gap and then I'd buy it. That sort of thing, okay? Just have logic. You don't have to be right with your idea. Just be able to talk about it in sound intelligence. And again, bring some of these without technicals as well, just in case the portfolio manager you're meeting with isn't technical, doesn't like technicals. And bring multiple copies of each one. Also, bring multiple copies of your resume. Don't assume they're going to have it. Okay, don't assume they're going to print it out. Bring it just in case. Just be preemptive, okay? And part 2, what to do during the interview. And let's see, if you're from the Midwest, you probably recognize what this is. If you haven't guessed it by now, it is Chicago O'Hare Airport, a fantastic airport. It is huge. And there is something called the O'Hare test. This is very important. You got to pass it. And what that means is this. If you're stranded at a big airport like O'Hare in Chicago with a work colleague of yours, and you're stranded and you're stuck between flights and you got an 8-hour layover, brutal 8-hour layover, you want to make sure that you can tolerate the person that you're hanging out with. Do you like them? You know, do you trust them? Do you listen to them? You have fun with them, right? That sort of thing. Do you enjoy their company? It's really important. Don't be uptight when you go into these interviews, right? You know, loosen up a little bit. You know, if they're loose and they want to talk about, you know, where you're from, that sort of thing, that's cool. Just do that as well and get them to talk about it themselves. And, you know, a lot of times they want to hire people that they kind of want to hang out with as well, right? So make sure that you're cool. All right, so that's what you do during, okay? Again, do they enjoy your company? Do they spend more time talking than you do? That's important. Get them talking about themselves. And again, do they enjoy answering your questions and telling you about their life story? And do they trust you? I think you get the idea. Okay, what do you do after? What do you do after the interview is done, okay? Well, you write a thank you note or you send a thank you email very fast. And the reason is, when I used to interview, when I used to work at hedge funds, I had to fill out a little form, whatever. But I do it at the end of the day because it was important to me, but not as important as my P&L or profit and loss statement. So I would do it at the end of the day before I went home. Send them a thank you email before they fill out that form, okay? Just be quick. And then afterwards, link up with them in LinkedIn and say, you know, thanks a lot for your time. I really enjoyed meeting with you. Connect with them. You should do that after every meeting for the rest of your life anyway, with anybody, is connect with people on LinkedIn because your value in life from a business perspective to many people, unfortunately, is predicated on the strength of your network. Okay. And then follow up with emails every now and then over time. Make sure they're relevant to what you met and talked about. And write down notes immediately after the interview on what you talked about with these people. And it'll impress them if you can remind them later. Okay. So I remember I interviewed and I was talking about Pixar. The ticker was PIXR before Disney bought it. I actually emailed one of the portfolio managers I interviewed with and told them about some Wired article on Pixar. Anyway, it helps to follow up. It usually helps out a lot.